Hello, my enlightened ones. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy we can be here together tonight. We have a lot we're going to be doing tonight. I have a little bit of a cold, so forgive me if I clear my throat an awful lot. I don't mean to be rude. Anyway, so if you're new here to my channel, thank you for stumbling across me. We're so happy to have you here. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the winter solstice and making the Yule logs. And there's two ways of doing the Yule logs, and I'm going to show you both ways tonight. I'm just going to jump over to chat, not to be rude. I want to say hello and see who's here. We have Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you, dear? Okay. So, how are you tonight, Chris? Okay.
So here's your candles.
Okay. So this is the Yule log. And jump back in. All right, so the winter solstice. First, we need to know what the Yule log is for. It's for the winter solstice. The winter solstice falls on December 1st or the 22nd, depending if it is a leap year. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling great, Chris. That's awesome. I'm glad you're here with me. So, as I said, the December 21st or 22nd of each year, depending if it's a leap year or not. It is the shortest day of the year, but its celebration is the celebration of returning of the sun. So it's the shortest day of the year, but the very next day, the days start to get longer again. So that's the celebration of the sun returning. The winter solstice will see a huge transition as the darkness begins to ebb away. The days will begin to get longer, and although winter rages on, the buds of spring are almost within touching distance. That is most notably found in many ancient religions and can be seen in festivals and holidays such as Christmas, which was originally based on pagan traditions. Yes, pagan. Okay. Not the birth of Jesus Christ, and I'm sorry if this is just educational. As many scholars will currently point out, feasts focusing upon gratitude and the offering of gifts have been celebrated for thousands and thousands of years. In fact, some of them are Elbern Arthen. This is the Druidic celebration. The Feast of Yule is Scandinavian. This ought to be fun to say. The Dagshi Winter Solstice Festival. This is Chinese as well. And the Saturnalia, and that is Roman. So no, this isn't a recent human development. You are part of a long lineage of ancestors from all over the world who have celebrated this exact same time as we all do. Welcome, Penny. Great to see you jump in. Fantastic, you made it. So basically what we're doing right now is we're discussing just what Yule is. Again, it's the shortest day of the year. It's December 21st or 22nd, depending if it's a leap year or not. So basically that's all you've missed so far. So glad you can be here tonight. Awesome to have you. I'm just going to jump right back in. So the most notable found in spiritual sense, no matter your tradition, this is an ideal time to embrace your inner self and reflect. This is great for all of us here right now on who you are and where you'd like to go. This is the perfect time for reflection, introspection, and intention setting. Honor your stillness. Understanding one's emotions, motivations, and desires are crucial in order to manifest the life you wish to manifest and live. Mapping out a vision board, that's a great thing to do. Strategy for the new year to come. often in the form of resolutions, can help you to get yourself motivated and moving. So, how does the winter solstice affect us astrologically? Well, let me tell you. In an astrological sense, the winter solstice marks the beginning of Capricorn season. Equinoxes and solstices correspond on the cardinal zodiac points. The leaders that initiate a new season, Capricorn is an earth sign, and during this period, we are reminded of how we'd like to build and establish our legacy. This often ties to public life, professional achievement, careers, goals. But it's more far reaching than that, as a legacy is something that can be remembered and even after someone has passed. During this time, we can I can't say the word, strategize, there we go, our plans, harness the Capricorn discipline, and get your life to work. So, setting beautiful goals, making a visionary board. So, astrologically, this is the best time of year to start strategically setting goals and these wonderful things for yourself. So, again, we are going to be doing the making of the Yule log, and let me pull that. There you go. So now there's the Yule log. Okay, I'm going to go over the few things on the Yule log that I put on mine when we start erecting the new one. But I'm going to just go over just a few things about why the Yule log. Why did it come to be? So I'm going to get going. So let me just jump back over to chat, though, just to make sure if anybody else is coming. We got Penny, we got Chris. That's all I need. Hey, guys. You guys good tonight? Can you hear me okay?
That's anybody who watches later.
Right. But I can't wait to share what I have to share with you. The Yule log. The tradition of the Yule log began in Norway, where a giant log was hoisted on the hearth to celebrate the return of the sun each year. Hold a simple ritual by having each family member write down wishes and place them in a log, and then burn it in your fireplace. Once Christianity spread through Europe, logs were burned and the ashes were scattered about the house to protect the family from hostile spirits during the dark time of the year. The Yule log, or Yule clog, or Christmas block is also known, is a specialty selected log burnt on the hearth as a winter tradition in regions of Europe, particularly in the United Kingdom and subsequently in North America. The sun begins its journey back to the north, and once again we are reminded that we have something worth celebrating. In families of all different spiritual paths, the return of the light is celebrated with menorahs, Kwanzaa, candles, bonfires, and brightly lit Christmas trees. On Yule, many pagan and Wiccan families celebrate the return of the sun by adding lights into their homes or around their homes. One very popular tradition, and one that, wow, I can't read tonight. Let me start over again. One very popular tradition, one that children can easily do, is to make a Yule log for the family-sized celebration. So the history and the symbolism. What does the Yule log symbolize? The Yule log. Okay. Sorry, I have neighbors going help me, making my puppies bark. Okay. A holiday celebration that began in Norway. All right, because each type of wood, all right, is associated with various magical and spiritual properties, logs from different types of trees might be burned for various different effects, depending on what you are looking for. Aspen is the wood of choice for spiritual understanding, while mighty oak is symbolic of strength. From the tiny seed, the mighty oak shall grow, okay? And that stands for wisdom as well. But this holiday celebration, when did it begin? On the night of the winter solstice, December 21st, it was custom to hoist it up into the air and to burn for all to see. A family hoping for a year of prosperity might burn the log of pine because pine is protection. Pine is also of fertility. I am actually going to be having pine on mine tonight. I went out to get fir, but my fir trees are way out in the woods, and people are still hunting around here, and I don't want to get shot. So we're doing pine tonight. So so again, pine is fertility. And also to the log that I'm actually working with, this is birch. Birch is also fertility. Just keep in mind that fertility, when I say fertility, fertility doesn't necessarily mean pregnancy. It also means new beginnings, new ideas. That's fertile. You got to till those crops. So that's part of the fertility as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean the birth of a child. Okay. So in our house, we usually make a Yule log out of pine, but you can make yours of any of these types of wood. So the log itself, you want it to be about 14 to 18 inches long. Personally, it doesn't matter. Pine cones is another thing you want to be adding to it. Maybe dried berries, such as cranberries, cuttings of mistletoe. And I just want to throw this out there for us pet lovers. Mistletoe is poison, as poinsettias are, so just be leery that the berries may fall off as you move it about your house or whatever as the dry season comes in, and you just don't want one of your little buddies to eat one of those berries. That's all I care about. Holly, pine needles. Again, pine needles, I believe, is also not good for them to chew on either, in certain ivies. Feathers. Feathers are great. I have lots of feathers thanks to my 30-pound turkey I found in the road. Cinnamon sticks. Some festival ribbon. Use paper, cloth, ribbon. The one thing you do want to be is you want to use the fake candles, because if you're putting pine is very flammable, and we don't want to catch a house on fire. So that's not the bonfire they were talking about. So
The original ones they threw in the fireplace.
Right. So exactly.
You didn't
So
need the candles.
exactly. So you can put ribbon on the one that I have here on the table. In fact, I have dried roses on it, and I have a bunch of other stuff on it. It's highly flammable. I guarantee it. But again, the other log we're going to be making, we're going to be dressing it as kind of like we did the candle in the Candle 101 class that we did together. We're going to be doing essential oils on it and so forth. So this is made to be thrown into your fireplace or be burnt outside on a bonfire and such. So, excuse me. And of course, hot glue gun, wire, whatever you want, whatever. I go around the house and I said, oh, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this. And I bring it all together, and lo and behold, something pretty. So all of these, except the ribbon and the hot glue gun, are things you can gather outside. Have your kids do it. Have your grandchildren do it. I'm going to do it with my grandchildren when I go over to their house. I'm staying over with them Friday night. So I'm going to be doing this little project with them when I go there. So it's going to be a little fun project to walk out in nature, in the backyard, not where they're hunting. So anyway, have go outside. You might wish to start collecting them earlier within the year. Like, for instance, fall time's a great time to gather those beautiful colored leaves. I press them in a book, and they're great to write on. And I like to write on them and make blessings for the new year. And when I go outside and have a fire, I just toss a couple on the fire with intent, and I put that out to the universe, and it's just a very good thing to do. So why not? Encourage your children to only pick up items they find on the ground and not to take cuttings from plants. Excuse me. I did cut. They're behind me. I did cut some off the trees, but I always ask permission to do so first. And I usually leave offerings of berries or something under the tree Thank you. So I did snip these from trees, but I did ask permission, and I don't take them all from one tree. I'll take one from one tree and one from another one. So, I'm not necessarily really hurting the tree. Hopefully, I'm hoping in my head. I'm hoping. So anyway, so celebrating a Yule log. Once you've decorated your Yule log, the question arises of what to do with it. For starters, use it as a centerpiece for your holiday table. That's what I'm using mine for. It's lovely. Shane even went out and got me pine cones, and I painted white paint on them so it looks like they had kind of frosted in snow. Surround it with greenery, and again, common sense, and we're the enlightened ones, so we have that. Don't put any live candles near the greenery on this, because if you're ever lost in the woods and you need to make a fire and you need an accelerant to use, you take the pitch off a pine tree. And why do you think Christmas trees go up so fast? Not to mention they're dried out, but the pine in the tree is constantly weeping
Use
that
fake
sap.
candles.
Yes.
They do not
Look, that burns. Okay. So another way to use it is to burn it as our ancestors did in many centuries ago. As I said, tossing it into your fireplace. I do want to say, though, if you are dressing the log with essential oils, do make sure that you look up the essential oil you're using, because some of these they become toxic in smoke form. It's one thing to throw them in an infuser. I can't talk tonight. Infuser, and because you're mixing it, you're diluting it with water, and it's coming out in a vapor. It's not coming out in a smoke toxic form. Right. So the only thing I'm saying is just do be careful if you are using essential oils. But I have a secret trick, so I don't even have to use them if I don't want to. So this is really cool. So I'll show you in a minute. Writing down a wish is another great thing. Sarah sent me a wonderful thing. I have a couple gifts, quick gifts you can make for last minute gifts for Christmas ideas, or Yule ideas, or Kwanzaa, or whatever. Even little things that you can put out on the trees for the birds, and give them a little special, celebration for themselves. So this is really, really quite cool. So if you have a fireplace, you can certainly burn your Yule log in it. But as I said, just make sure there's no toxins, paraffins, or whatever that are going to, especially I have asthma. So there's only certain things that, that kind of get to me after a while. Even I smudge houses with sage, and even that, yeah, I think it's from all the years of smoking out houses with sage. Finally got to me. All right. So, let's see here. Yeah, if you have a fireplace, burning it outside while you have a hot cocoa or a coffee with your family gathered around the fire. What a special memory that would be, burning the Yule log. It can be a traditional thing that you can do every year. So I'm done with my dissertation on the Yule log. So let's get cracking, shall we? So I do have my lovely assistant. It's Sarah. There she is. She was also known as Thing in the Simmer Pot. Oh, I just messed my camera up. Okay. I think we're back on track. No, gotta go down a little bit more. Okay. So Sarah, if you want to hit the... you can't get past me, can you? You can? Can you hit the kitchen light? There. Oh. Yeah, I think we're back in business. We're in business. All right. So, as I said, Sarah's going to be working on her Yule log. I'm going to go over a few things that we're going to be putting on the Yule log. But this other Yule log that I'm going to be kind of dressing up as a candle. Let me take this other one out. So I'm just kind of squeezing the space. Okay. This other log, I've put holes into it. And it's not to put candles in. These holes are to stuff things in. So the lovely things that you can put into these holes would be frankincense. Frankincense, this is the herb for to burn for Christmas, for protection. Cinnamon as well. You can put little pieces of cinnamon in there. I gotta go through my banners. I forgot about my banners. Okay, so I'm going to show you some things that we can actually put in here. So this is Yule, December 21st. As you look under herbs, burn, bay, bayberry, chamomile, frankincense, rosemary, sage. Decorate with holly, juniper, mistletoe, moss, which I do have some, oak, pine, cones, cedar, evergreen, and blessed thistle. The incense for this time of year is bayberry, frankincense, and myrrh, of course. And gemstones are alexandrite, that is my birthstone, bloodstone, blue topaz, cat's eye, citrine, and clear quartz. The foods of Yule are breads, caraway cakes, cookies, cream, fruits, fruitcake, nuts, soups, squash, turkey, poultry, game, of course, if you're hunting deer, pork, beer, I almost said bear, eggnog, ginger tea, mulled wine, spiced cider, and wassail. Wassail is a hard cider. So, in case you're not familiar with what that is, I had to look it up. Your animals that are, of course, you have your little elf on the shelf down there for your mythological creatures. Of course, the deer, you have the raven, you have the wolf, you have the gnome, which is your elemental of the earth. Then you have your deities, which is Bridget, Demetra, Diana, Freya, um, Isis. I'm just going to skip through these real quick. Odin, the Green Man, the Holly King, and I'm going to discuss them in a second. The Horned God, which it's a fertility god of winter. And let's see here. King, Horn God, Oak King, which is another god of winter and thyme. Then you have your decorations, of course, down below, which we basically know what our decorations are. So, well, I can't read that if that's in my way. All right. The ancient ancestors brought evergreen trees inside to mystically ensure that the world be light all year round. The evergreen retains sunlight, staying green all year, and reminds us that life is forever present and renewable. So these are the herbs, okay, that are associated with Yule, which is apple leaf, apples dried, bayberry, blessed thistle, birch, which is our log is birch tonight, cedar, cinnamon, cloves, comfrey, elder, fir, as in FIR, the one I couldn't go in the woods and get, frankincense, ginger, hazel, ivy, laurel, mistletoe, moss, myrrh, nutmeg, oak, pine, rosemary, saffron, sage, sandalwood, wintergreen, yarrow, and the Yule log ashes. And what do all of these herbs have in common? They're all protection. Every single one of those herbs on that list is protection. It's to keep the nasties and the spookables away during the winter time. You're protecting your bum.
Also to keep away sickness, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure too. Exactly. That's a good point. Sarah was right. Sarah says too, in the Victorian ages too, they didn't have infusers and ventilators and all these other things that we use to cleanse our homes and cleanse our space. And this probably helped with germs. And I know that there's certain sages that you can actually smudge your house with and it eliminates germs and kills germs in your house. It's kind of crazy. So, Yule symbols. Holly represents the god, mistletoe, the goddess. Again, there's that balance, the yin and the yang going on there. Candles represent the winter sun, of course. Yule tree, renewal. Pine is healing. Now, if you think back to the olden days, how dangerous it was to live in the Victorian days, having candles on your tree, real lit candles, but the candles symbolize the sun. We have lights on our Christmas tree. These lights they're representing sun's return. That's what that represents. So that's really cool. Next thing, Yule altar decorations. So if you're into doing a Yule altar, as I always have some spots set up in my house, sometimes I change directions. It's usually supposed to be in the north, but I like to live vicariously. So that's just me. Yule altar decorations, things you can include on your altar: pine cones, mini Yule trees, poinsettias, candles, fake snow, garland, incense, ornaments, the Yule log, ribbon, reindeer, not the real ones. They're hard to they keep on the altar. Cauldron, bells, and there's that hard cider again, the wassail. So I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. So Yule magical herbs, mistletoe. Again, mistletoe. This is just the Greek story of the mistletoe. Let me tell you what the mistletoe. The Greeks believed that kissing the one you love under the mistletoe, okay, they would take one berry and then another couple would come in and they would kiss under the mistletoe and they would take another berry from the mistletoe until all the berries, all the couples would come and all the berries would be gone. Then they would take what's left of the mistletoe and throw it to burn. And the belief was behind this that the ones that kissed under the mistletoe would become wed. So that's kind of the Greek mythology on that one. Moss is purifying and healing, as we know. We've put it in our healing poppets. Holly is protection and luck. Pine, healing and joy. Ivy, luck, love, loyalty. Evergreen, protection and prosperity. So you're seeing a trend here. It's either protection, luck, prosperity. You're trying to bring all this goodness and this abundance into your life in the darkest time of the year. And can you think back then when they didn't have heat and they were freezing cold and how miserable and they had to, it wasn't just a drive 20 minutes to the store. It was on back horse and freezing your butt off in the back of the carriage. And no, I don't think so. So I wouldn't have survived. That's why I'm here. It's my next life. Just kidding. So now we're going to move on to the two gods that rule winter. Here we go. The Golden Oak King, who is the light twin, rules from winter, midwinter to midsummer. The Darksome Holy King rules the dark half of the year from midsummer to midwinter. Very interesting. Let's read about mistletoe. Ancient Greeks. The earliest known culture to venerate mistletoe, the Greeks referred to it as the white berries as the oak sperm. Get that one. And considered it a symbol of the male fertility. In Greek mythology, ancient Greece is the earliest known culture to venerate and use mistletoe. The Greeks referred to the white berries as oak sperm and considered, wow, how many times did I put that in there? I must have been sleeping that day. All right. So again, it stands for the male fertility. Protect himself on his journey. They would actually carry it to the underworld. And this would protect himself and to ensure that he would return back home on a safe journey. So that's quite interesting. So make a 12 herb satchel for you. Okay, we'll get into that later. Okay, let's start making the Yule log, shall we? Let's have some fun. So I'm going to show you a little plate that I did here. You saw this from probably my fairy video, but there's more added to it. So I have some oranges in here. Orange, how perfect. This is what we're celebrating return of the sun. How perfect is an orange? It grows in the sun, half the year or so. That's a lovely thing. And the color is exactly the color of the sun. Apples, again, this is love. Why not? Let's put love in there. But love is great because the fairies, and you don't want to piss off the little elf on the shelf. So you got to give him something to gnaw on here. So we threw in some apples for him. But we have some pine cones in here that I painted white, trying to get them to focus. Just like me, can't focus. Okay, so you can't see, but there are little tiny sparkles. I like my sparkles. I actually have some old dried up roses. Oh, it's so hard to see. Here we go. I painted the tips very lightly with white paint just to give them that look like they're slightly frosted. And so the pine cones. So these are some of the things that we will be adding. Did you got the gun going? If you want to start just throwing stuff on, but let me go over just a few more things. let me show you what I want to show you my Yule log up close because this is really exceptionally special. And I'm going to tell you what. Okay, so this Yule log here I have. We're doing Return of the Sun, and this is what it represents. But as you see, I have the oranges and everything in the front, and everything that I've gone over with, and a few extras here. I do have some eucalyptus on here, but I want to show you the back. This is what really blows me away about this thing. This is the perfect because it has mushrooms on it, and what I love about this fact of the mushrooms being on there. The front of the log is, I got a yin yang effect going on here. And let me explain because the front of the log has to do with, let me put it back so you guys can actually look back at it again. But the front of the log represents the sun's return, and it's anew. Everything grows from being new. And the mushroom grows from debris, and it grows in the darkness. And the beauty of the mushroom being on there, it's representing the darkness. It's representing growth from debris and decay. It's just amazing because I get both the yin and the yang going on with that. And I like to have a balance when I do things because life is all about balance. So that's just me. So let me grab a few more things. As I said, we're going to be putting some greenery on here. Ours is pine and very sticky pitchy. This here in the chair. Another fun thing that you can get pretty cheap. I think I got this for like $3.50 from the dollar store. These little picks are great. You just cut off little pieces of them, and as you put the ribbon around the log, you can tuck them in certain spots. And here's some red ones that we got there. So you can go on any of those if you want to. Feel free to grab whatever log you want. See which one's more balanced. Whichever one's not so balanced. Again, eucalyptus. I love the smell of eucalyptus. Another great thing that you can actually put on here. Like that. There you go.
So this is the one. So do this one?
Yeah, I'll do this one, throw into a log, and you do that one. That would be perfect. You want to do that one?
Okay.
Or you want to do a little one?
No, this is fine.
Okay. So I just want to go over a few more things with you guys. Get back here. I got my basket of beauties.
So you're going to have the second screen in and
Oh, yeah. What am I doing? I'm putting in 2 screens. Yay! Okay. So I just want to show this real quick with you, too. You can actually get these balls from the dollar store, and they're $1.25 a piece. You open them up. I like to do my Christmas trees more for elementals. I like to honor the fairies and stuff. In fact, when we talk about Christmas traditions, I will explain what knocking on wood, where that term came to be. It's waking up the spirit that's in the wood, that's in the tree that they believe is there. So why not honor it? So what I did was I made a ball with all 4 elements in it. You remember I showed you my elemental jars for the fairies that I made, earth, air, fire, and water. Well, you can do that all in one ball and just hang it on your tree just to honor the fairies that are in your home hanging out for the winter. Another thing, paper to write things on, because what I do is I roll them up like little scrolls, and you tie it with ribbon and you stick it around the Yule log too. That's another great thing to do there. The turkey. You guys laughed at me when I picked up my 30-pound turkey. Wait till you see how big his wing is. Wait till you see this. I could fan dance. I can't even get it in the here. I got to back up the other camera because it's not going to fit in the camera. This is my turkey wing. This is a wing. One wing. Look how big that is. It's gigantuan. I can actually fan dance behind this wing. That's how big it is. So, but my little lovelies, Um, I have lots of turkey feathers here. And what I do is because it's feathery in here. I actually put feathers on my tree. It sounds crazy. I don't stick them all over the tree, but I put a couple at the top because it's the honor the bird that I get his wing from, and then I get these feathers from. So it's out of respect. I do things. I'm very respectful. So again, moss is another great thing that you can actually put on. Get quirky. If you're quirky and you like leopard print or zebra print or something, just put on whatever you want. I mean, this is your Yule log. As no one can tell you your life's path, no one can tell you how to make your Yule log. I'm just giving suggestions. Another great thing is this beautiful. There we go. Can you see that? Can't see it. Killing the light. Anyway, it's Merry Christmas ribbon. That's another great thing to wrap around there. Jute. Jute's another great thing. Keep in mind everything that you're putting on this. You want all natural items. That's the whole beauty of the Yule log. It's you're honoring nature. Raffia is another great thing that you can actually put on there. You can use regular ribbon, okay, even to throw it into your fireplace because that will just instantly just gone. You can embellishment. These are just little cardboard. I actually this is toilet paper thing, and I just cut it and kind of stuck them together. But you can make little flowers or something for it, or whatever you want. I mean, you can just be creative. So I'm going to show you the making of the Yule log that I'm going to be doing. I'm doing mine differently. Sarah's decorating the outside, and I'm kind of going to be. It's not so much about how pretty it's going to be. It's the purpose of it. So where's my Yule log, girlfriend? Thank you kindly. So this is my Yule log. As I said, it does have holes drilled into it here, which is great. So in this case, I'm actually going to take some frankincense because I do have some breathing issues. And if I did have a fireplace in here and I wanted to burn it, I don't want that essential oil causing any issues. I'm going to drop frankincense into the holes here. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a good. Frankincense, in case you didn't know, is from a blessed tree, and it's tree sap. That's exactly what it is. Let me kill that light. There we go. That's tree sap. That's what frankincense is. So what I'm doing is I'm dropping it into each hole, okay? Now another thing, again, lavender is protection. Well, lavender willow here. I do nothing without lavender. So this is another great thing. Maybe drop a couple little flowerets into each little hole. And don't worry about, oh my goodness, it's going to spill out and everything, because we're going to seal it when we're done, so it's not going to go anywhere. So put a little of that in there. I do need to grab my lighter though. Oh, come with it. Excuse me. Black exorcism salt. This is fantastic for banishment. Thank you. This is I'm about to get my fingers black and I don't want to. Hang on. I need a spoon. Not just any spoon, but a plastic measuring spoon. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of my black salt and I'm going to pour a little bit into each hole. Okay. And then I'm going to take my lighter and a candle. And I'm going to drip the wax. Oops. Sarah, I need your help, sis. Yeah. I think I got it. All right. So I'm just going to drop some wax in the hole. Probably helps if I just burned a candle and just dump the wax in, right? Maybe a little faster. Yeah. So anyway, but you get the gist. So I can actually, the quickest way to do this would actually burn a regular candle and just pour the wax into it. But you know what? That's already solid in there. So anyway, let's just do a couple more drops over here. There we go. I can smell it burning into the frankincense. It smells so wonderful. Oops. Don't play with fire. I'm surrounded by everything that is possibly flammable. Okay. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Okay. That's tonight's lesson. Okay, so you get the gist. Okay, so now these holes are basically plugged up with the wax. So let me get my herbs out of here. Get my frankincense. The other thing that you can do too is to have extra hi. Turn the light on there. Okay. To have extra protection for your herbs is, like I said, bless everything before you use it. By blessing everything, be that blessing fairy I keep telling you to be, because you're blessing and consecrating your equipment that you want to use to bring good things to your life. You don't want stuff coming in and tainting and playing with your stuff. So why not take that extra step? Bless it. So now I'm actually going to take some jute here because I like jute. And again, you kind of want to wind it loosely around, okay? I don't want it tight because I'm going to be putting papers into it, okay? So I'm just going to tie it right there. And again, this isn't about being pretty. This one isn't about being pretty. I think if I can turn this one on, no. Yeah, I'm behind the camera. Huh?
As a mine's gonna fall apart in 5 minutes. There you go.
Sweet.
It's alfalfa.
Fantastico. So Sarah made her alfalfa log. Let me take this camera back out. Can you move that other camera? Is there a way that we can move it so they can see what I'm doing over here? I don't know. So this is Sarah's alfalfa right here. This is alfalfa's. But this is adorable. You don't have to plug it back in.
You have to add children.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So there's Sarah's little log. Alfalfa. And what? That probably took her, 10 minutes to make? I mean, a lot of this is just pre-prep stuff. I like it, Sarah. It's very awesome. Kinda.
No,
Well, what I need you to do is I need you to take, Sarah's going to take some paper. And I want you to write joy on one piece and peace on another piece, or whatever you feel like writing. Whatever floats your boat. And get all these lovely feathers. I won't burn my feathers, though. I honor my feathers. Do you steal my scissors?
I couldn't find scissors. I was looking for them. I had to rip
Really?
with my hands because I couldn't find the scissors.
Oh, they're right here. Sorry. My bad. Okay. So I'm going to add a little red ribbon on here. Just to make it crazy. I like crazy. I'm crazy.
All right, here's 3 pages.
Okay. So again, you don't want to tie it tight. Okay, I need you to roll them up like a scroll.
You're going to read them out loud? I worked really hard on this.
Oh, go. Okay, Sarah wants me to read what she wrote first. Okay. Joy, peace, health, haunted objects. Had to make me cough.
Sorry.
That's hysterical. So what she's going to do is she's going to roll those up.
All in the same bunch?
No, I want them
3 different ones?
3 different ones. Yeah, because what we're going to do is we're going to tuck them through the loose string. And this is why I say don't do the string tightly, because we're going to tuck those scrolls underneath. And plus we're going to add other things. We're going to add pine cones that we can actually just shove. I don't even have to use a glue gun for this, guys. I can just actually just shove a pine cone underneath the loose string. That's why I wanted you to do it loosely. And We can throw some eucalyptus underneath there.
So you want them like this?
Apples. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so what Sarah has done is she's made a little scroll out of them, and now I'm going to tuck them underneath, just like that, right here. You can use any color paper you want. You can, again, as you're building this, keep your intent focused in your head. This one's for peace. This one's for haunted objects. Good God, Sarah. I'm assuming this is I bet this is haunted objects one, isn't it? Oh, no, doing peace. Okay, good. All right, so
one was for health, peace, and joy.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm actually going to take a little Spanish moss because I like to make a mess. Okay, funky moss. Again, moss is protection. Moss is health, and we're going for health right now because got a few people with health issues going on right now. So we're going to add that to our log. But basically, you get the gist of it. Look, less than 5 minutes. I mean, it's not quite a work of art, but again, these holes are sealed up. I don't care what it looks like. It's going into a fire pit or it's going into my fireplace. So I like to hold it also off after you're done with it. Excuse me. Boy, I'm laughing. My words are crazy tonight. I got to slow down. Take your dominant hand, the hand you write with, and hold it over the log with the intent of whatever you've put into this. I'm hoping for health and prosperity and abundance coming to my family. I'm hoping for world peace, and I'm hoping for health for the entire world. I'm not asking too much. So anyway, just take a moment. Center yourself and put your intent into the log, and then go out, like I said, with your friends and your family, and just take a mosey on out to the back porch and throw it on the Barbie. I don't care what you do. Just have some hot cocoa, gather around. And this would be an awesome tradition to do every year. Another thing you can do too is you can actually take the pine cone, and as she rolled up the scrolls, you can tuck the scrolls. And I'm going to show you right here. You can tuck the scrolls. See how it looks like almost like dollar bills there? You can tuck the scrolls into that, and you hang it on a bush outside your house, and you're letting the energy just and it's beautiful. Right. Not only that too, and don't worry about the paper. The paper it's natural. It will go back to where it came from, and maybe a bird will use it to line its nest or something. So you're helping out. That's a great thing to do. Another thing to do with the kids, which I love to do, is just grab a pine cone and put peanut butter all over it and hang it from a string on a tree. The birds love peanut butter. Squirrels love peanut butter. They'll be all with that. Get extra, roll it around in bird seed with the peanut butter. It will stick to it. It's a mess, but put it out. Again, you can actually hang oranges from the trees. You can hang the apples from the trees. Another thing you can do here, this is another, instead of doing a Yule log, you live in an apartment, you don't have room for a Yule log, do a Yule candle. You can do a Yule candle dressing. This is actually cinnamon dipsticks, cinnamon sticks painted white with a little bit of burlap and jute around it. I mean, how simple is that? That and the smell of the cinnamon heats up as the candle burns, and that protection smell and that frequency goes through your house and protects the rest of your house. That's crazy. So blessed Yule. This may be the solstice and turning of the wheel. See, they believe that it was a turning of a wheel, and it's crazy because they actually think that the sun was a wheel. And as it goes into winter, the wheel, as we hit Yule, the wheel is now starting to turn and come back to us as the shortest day of the year. So now the wheel, they believed, was rolling back in our direction. So that was cool. I do want to point out one thing. Santa Claus. Yes. Santa Claus. Thank you, Sarah's. Odin. Okay. Santa Claus. wishes you a Merry Yule. And I want to mention Odin because I want you to consider this. Yule in Norse mythology, in general speaking, in gods flying through sky on animal-drawn sleighs, how Odin's flying horse, he had an 8-legged horse. Let's think about this. He had an 8-legged horse, and Santa Claus has how many reindeer? 1, 2, 3, 8? Okay. He also wears a red suit. It wasn't a red suit that he wore. He was known, Odin was known as Lord of the Hunt. He would go out and hunt animals and sling them over his shoulder and the bleed over his fur. So the red suit of Santa Claus, yes, animal blood. So this is where these traditions come in. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but this is the tradition. This predates Christianity. This predates. Saint Nicholas was a real dude. We talked about him in the last class. He wonderful man. He was an orphan. He actually grew up in an orphanage because his parents died of TB, and he actually knew what it was like to be an orphan and how miserable it was. And when he grew up, he actually not a dowry, but he actually inherited some money, and he would go around to orphanages on December 6th, which is St. Nicholas Day. He really was a saint. He would go around and give children fresh oranges and apples and treats and not reward the bad children. So he really did exist. He really was a real good dude. But Odin predates, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but he does predate. So again, Catholicism stepped in again and claimed something as theirs. And I'm Catholic, I can say that. So anyway, I'm just going to say it's been a great night. I'm going to, my battery's getting low. Sarah, did you unplug me? She did. She unplugged me. Hang on a second, I don't want to lose you guys. Oh, you guys still here? Hi, Jasmine. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, camera shut down and everything. Oh my God. Really? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm still here. Can you hear me? Sarah unplugged my computer, so when she walked away, thank you. Give me 1 second. I know you can see me over here, but for some reason, I can't get the camera to come back on. The camera's on, but I can't get it to add to stream. No, doesn't want to. Thanks, Sarah. Anyway, I gotta leave that camera going though because that's where my mic is. So anyway, I really, really thank you guys all for coming here tonight. I just want to say I've been kind of rude and kind of it's been a crazy week, guys. Just thank you for bearing with me. Jasmine, thank you for being here. My beautiful, beautiful mod. Chris, you're amazing. I greatly thank you for being here. Penny, yeah, husband probably thinks I'm nuts, but that's okay. Hi, Pat. So anyway, Yeah, Sarah unplugged my computer to plug in the glue gun and she forgot to plug it back in. And that's why you lost me. My computer shut down. I tried grabbing it before it shut down. It's like I had like 5 seconds to respond. So, again, my apologies, guys. I thank you all for coming here tonight. Next week's class is going to be on the traditions of Christmas and where they came from. So, we'll get into a little bit more depth on that one, but it's going to be less chaotic, not making things and that type of stuff. I did want to say too, another easy thing to make for somebody is just grab a little mesh bag, put some lavender in it, make a sachet bag for people. All my stuff's removed. So I'm really unorganized tonight. But again, these balls are amazing. These balls, this is a elemental ball, and it's got all the elements in there for the fairies, and it's got crystals in there, and it's got even a turkey feather from my turkey in there. You can put dried fruit in there, anything that's not gonna rot or anything in there, unless you just want to have it up for the season. Then toss it when you're done. It's only $1.25 at the dollar store. So again, next week, guys, thank you so much for hanging here. If you can just kind of like this crazy video tonight, a little scatterbrained here tonight. Shane's sick and half the household's sick, and you know the rest of the story. So we're kind of running a little bit on empty. So please be forgiving of this video. My apologies, but I thank you all for being here tonight and hanging with me, because it really does mean a lot to me. I love you guys, each and every one of you. Chris, we love you. God bless. Penny, so glad you're here. We missed you. Jasmine, thank you so much for being here. And anybody else who happened to stop by and check out my channel in this crazy video, thanks for hanging with us tonight, and I greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you all next week. Traditions of Christmas. Have a great night, guys. Take care and keep shining that light. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine.